Hello, everybody. Welcome to Level Up Circle TV. Thank you so much for all of our followers, listeners, and supporters. We appreciate you very much. So, today you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, moving beyond boxes again. Yes, there's so many ways we can move beyond boxes, and it would take us a lifetime to even realize what moving beyond boxes really is and really means to you. And it's different for everybody, right? We belong on different boxes. Even if we don't want to, there are things that we don't even realize that we're in a box. But this book, this anthology, have 13 different co authors who put their heart out and literally for a moment in their life be vulnerable on how they move beyond boxes, right? And tonight, I should say, morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, we're going to be talking about recognizing which boxes that we belong. How do we move beyond it? And when you're supposed to go beyond it, right? So, that's what we're doing. Are you guys ready? Today we got lots going on. It's our dear sister's birthday as well. Do you guys know that? Do you know which sister's birthday is today? She is 21 with three children. Yes, I know. She started really young. Oh my God, I'm going to start a gossip corner so bad. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay. But first, let me just bring them up. I just want to bring them up. Okay. So I'm gonna bring her up, the birthday girl. Oh, we're gonna bring this one. Oh, hello, people. So sister, should we sing happy birthday?
Sing.
Look at her face. Okay, first let's go ahead and I have something that I've created. I'm going to share if it allows me actually.
Ooh.
Let's take a look. Can you guys see anything?
Yes.
Okay, so let's play it. Today we celebrate not just the passing of another year, but the incredible journey you've taken, the mountains you've climbed, and the valleys you've traversed. Your strength, kindness, and resilience have touched so many lives, including mine. On this special day, may you feel the depth of my gratitude and admiration for all that you are and all that you continue to be. Your presence in this world is a gift beyond measure, and I am endlessly thankful to share this journey with you, to your dreams and the beautiful future ahead. Happy birthday with all my love, CJ. Family is everything to you. Your three beautiful children, your amazing husband, Leo, is so lucky to have a mom, a wife who loves them beyond herself. Now, you may be wondering, why in the world did CJ pick this picture? Because I want everyone to know that Danielle has so much going on, not just in her life, in her head as a neurodivergent, but she show up whenever she can. Thank you, dear sister, for showing up. Now, you may be wondering, why in the world did CJ pick this when I am not available to run my own show? You and Sister Susanna run to the rescue. Thank you. Thank you for always being there when I needed you. The smile shows that we do have fun publicly, not publicly. We show up the same because our friendship is more than superficial, more than what you can get from me or what I can get from you. Jealous intent. It's not coming from, I want to be better than you. Sure, we're competitive. We both are very competitive. Compete on each other's. Instead, we complete each other. I'm sure my dear sister Susanna's going to kill me for choosing this. But you and I know that we made Susanna now a Filipino. A Filipina. And she has to do the lip thing, right? Look at us. We're so serious. And I'm not sure why we're not even smiling or laughing when Susanna's doing this. But we will have fun this weekend. Community is everything, dear sister. Having you in my side, having all of our brother and sisters in our side is fun. It's a blessing. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful that you were born. Today is the day that the world is blessed with a human being. Hearts is so big, hearts. Hearts, I said, because we're all have hearts that help people and we keep on giving. But we are more than heart centered, we are soul hearted. Our passion for helping others by using our skills through our services exudes within us and outside of us. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for being born. Thank you for being a great sister. And thank you for being loyal. We love you so much. Happy birthday, dear sister Danielle. We hope that your weekend this weekend with us physically in person is going to be one of the best birthday you'll ever have. See you soon. That's what I was busy doing, okay? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm quiet today. Taking it all in.
Oh, I'll be posting it on LinkedIn. Don't you worry. It will be on LinkedIn with Susanna's like,
Thank you, sister.
oh, I'm loving it. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, we always have fun. And today is a celebration of your birthday, but also let's talk of the importance of the value of, moving beyond boxes, because when we move beyond boxes, we then recognize what box are we in before we move out of that box, right? We move in and we move out. It's like a flow. I keep thinking of yin and yang. I don't know why I'm in this like mode. Oh, I got a squirrel moment. Hold on.
We like the squirrels.
I know, squirrel moment. So I went to Vegas, obviously. I went to Omega Mart on Area 15, not 51, 15. And look what I got. I love dragons. I want my entire back
Oh,
actually tattooed with
cool.
dragons one of these days, or whenever I can afford it. But here, isn't that pretty? It's 3D printed. I know. I was
It's
putting
purple.
my dragon this morning here. I'm
Gorgeous.
like, good
You
luck.
should leave it there.
I know. She's so pretty. I don't know her name yet, but I will name her. I love dragons. And if Dina Fortune is watching, here's the dragon. I sent her the picture. She loves dragons. She likes to paint dragons. And then I gift myself with um, more stuff this weekend, and I got me another one instead of the white one. And then my lipstick is in there, and I love Hello Kitty, so I added Hello Kitty. I don't think this box of being a child, like wanting shopping and things like that, is a box that I'll be moving beyond. I love to have fun. I think life is too short when people, when you're a professional, you're supposed to come in suit, you got to be serious.
Yeah.
You can't wear makeup, you can't wear red lipstick. There's rules out there, right? You can't do this, you can't do that. And then you die. What kind of life is that really? You're not God gave us a choice, right? Otherwise, he would make us not sinners. He gave us a choice to choose for us and what makes you happy. But yet, when you're given a choice, you choose to just follow what people tell you that doesn't make you happy. Really?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing with our choices. So, today we're going to talk about choices and
Mm.
how and when. So, let's start with dear sister Susanna. When did you choose to move beyond at least one of your boxes?
I think it's just been an ongoing process, quite frankly. I didn't actually recognize the whole thing until actually when I first got into LinkedIn, and everybody's like, you have to niche, you have to only be one or two things, you have to to contort yourself to be something that, whether you want to be it or not, that's what you're going to be. And it's like, okay, fine, I'm on LinkedIn, but why engage if that's all it is? That's not a life, being that. And then things started over the next few years, and actually decade or more, then things really started to change. And I knew the boxes that people could put me in, but I always stayed away from them. So in many ways, a lot of these boxes, it can be what somebody would put you in, but that doesn't mean you have to go into it.
Mm.
You just be yourself and don't worry about what the others are trying to tag you as. And that's really how I managed to do my own reinvention and go into 2022 freeing myself from that. My whole goal was no more boxes, but because this world can't get away from sticking us in a box one way or another, then it shifted to move beyond boxes. And when I say move beyond boxes and shine, you shine as your authentic self.
It is a journey when we recognize one of our boxes, right? But there is a moment, though, in your life that you're like, I'm over it. I'm going to move beyond this box right now. But in order for you to move something, you got to recognize it, right? You got to recognize what the box is. And some boxes you want to stay in. There are boxes, like I said, being childlike, having fun, and putting in a box like, oh gosh, CJ is so immature or whatever, right? That's the box that they put me in. And I want to stay in there by choice, not necessarily because I want to move beyond it because people label me. If it makes me happy, I really don't give a care what other people think, right? At that point. How about you, dear sister Danielle? When
Mm.
did you recognize a box and you're like, I'm over it, I'm moving on?
Maybe, well, I'm vacillating over the control box or the fear box. And that's the fear of what people will think if I am my authentic self, right? And I think for me too, it was a process over time. Like, oh, I'm this way, or I'm passionate, I'm strong, you know? So it was just a process over time for me. And I guess a big point in my life is when I said yes to CJ. Because I said no before, because I'm like, no books, no podcast, you know? And that was a pivotal point for me, that I said, well, you know, I do care what my family thinks, but I'm going to do it anyways. I am concerned about that, but I'm going to do it anyways. And it's out of love, and it's to heal the things that I think I kept myself from. So that fear box of what people will think, really did control like me being able to just be myself, fully. And I think this is not a box that I'm fully out of per se, but recognizing that that is something that did significantly hold me back, and choosing to do things that scare me, the bejeebies out of me. Is that a word? Bejeebies?
Mm-hmm.
Heebie-bejeebies. I say that all the time.
Jeez.
Heebie-bejeebies. Um, I think for me, my box that I probably fit in is I'm over it. There's so many boxes that people put me in. One of them is definitely when I was a dean. I had purple hair before they hired me. And then when they hired me, I changed to pink. Like, I'm not this pink, like bright pink, like this pink, right? In the first meeting, I had pink hair, and they're like, "That's our dean." And I had some people from Harvard and MIT, and they're like so staunchy. And my makeup has always been bright, you know? I was like, okay, fine, I'll get some browns and neutral. I gotta go use those damn eyeshadows anyway. Um, and the VP literally like trying to be PC about it. They're like, CJ, we really love your pink hair. I'm like, I know what you're gonna say. I'm aware. But when you hired me, it wasn't because of my physical, was it? It was because of my brain and my abilities. We really need to get over that as a society. The judging, the because my hair and my makeup doesn't do the work. They literally don't do the work. It's me and my brain and my fingers typing that does the work. And it's still pink, okay? It's not gonna go anywhere. But yeah, right? We're all pink. It's just I don't understand why people love to have this rules and rigid, and I mean rigid rules and regulations of what is the best way to do it. There I understand there's etiquette that you have to follow, right? There's like you have to follow certain etiquettes, like being on a show. You should show up, right? That's an etiquette. And also it's rude when you're invited and you don't message people that you're supposed to be in, right? There's also etiquette when you are a guest on someone's podcast, you should share. If you are on somebody's book, whether you pay for free, you should share. Those are etiquette. Those are not boxes, right? There's a difference between the two. If you somehow love those people and then all of a sudden there's things that change, then that's okay too because people change, right? But when we move beyond boxes, is the attitude that you take in certain situations, right? You could be mad, you could be angry, but why? Why
Mm,
get wrinkles from people that's nonsense? You just move on. But now you know who to help and who not to help. And you just wish them good luck because karma will get you, right? When you have bad intentions on people, it happens, right? So just move on to that. Now, let's talk about this book, Move Beyond Boxes.
And that pretty cover.
Yes, yes.
mhm.
So here's the thing. I want to talk about what you wrote on this book. And I want to talk about
Ooh.
what do you think people who's going to read your chapter is going to extrapolate? Like we know our story because we wrote it. But what do you think people are going to get from? Because you know how like if I tell you, okay, I'm going to show you something. Okay? What is this?
Lipstick,
What about you, Susanna?
I think.
I mean, it could be anything. It could be a pen, lipstick, eyeliner, eyeshadow.
Right?
Oh, perfume?
What do you think that is? Yeah. Right? Because our perfumes are huge, so I don't put it on my bag with this huge perfume. So I put the perfume seed goes in the back, right? So then, about oh geez, you guys know what this is.
Well, it looks like a mic, but it's probably not a mic.
Susanna will have one soon, right? This is my what? Pink lipstick,
Oh.
right? So here's the thing. When you see something, right, the first thing you do is what society gives you, what society defines it, and what the definition is. Oh, it's a microphone. But it's more than that, right? It's functional. The same thing for human beings. Sometimes we judge people based on the way they look, the way they speak, the way they carry themselves. But we really do not get to know them as a person, because often we listen to others on what they are and who they are, right?
Ooh.
There's gossip bill going on, right? And you're like, oh, she does this and that without verifying. It's the same thing as that. When you're judging things that you don't know, you just judge it. It's easier to actually go with the flow, be a lemming, than you actually trying to be yourself and find out exactly what's happening or what this thing really is, right? So when we write our chapter from this book, people are going to read it and it's going to resonate differently depending on where they are in their life, what their experiences are, the level of emotional state that they're in, because we're always on the emotional state, whether we're angry, we're happy, we're disappointed, we're jolly, whichever point of your life you are right now at this moment while you're reading this book. So I'm going to start with Susanna. When you wrote your chapter, what did you want your readers to extrapolate from?
My writing, I don't go into it thinking what I really want somebody to get out of it, because it's just like you said, wherever they're at, they're going to get something different every time. So that's not something I tend to think of much when I write. I try to see what the focus is going to be, and then I go in and look at what's the story that I want to say. I'm not really thinking so much of what I want them to get. Quite frankly, I didn't go into much of what to get out of it until after the edits, the first round of edits, when somebody made a suggestion of what to put in. Then is when there was a bit more of a push to add a business aspect, a business application that wasn't quite there. To me, it was, when I wrote it, when I titled it, I was thinking more of the box that I had just kind of been stuck in, or was confirmed, let's put it that way. The box that was confirmed in April for ADHD. Then this gave me a chance, it's like, to label or not to label the box. I tend to stay away from the labels most of the time. I don't care what others are going to try and put me in. To me, the most important thing is just be me. If they want to say it's a box, fine, but it doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to be me, and if I'm doing that, then that's taking care of me, and that's connecting with the people that I really need to connect with and that I want to connect with. And then there are those few times, in this case, knowing the ADHD, it makes a difference to be able to say, okay, now I know this is real. Now I can move beyond it. But I'm very selective about what boxes I'll put a title on that I'm moving beyond. The other boxes, I'm still moving beyond them. It's like they can't identify me. But the few of them, like in this case, the ADHD, I need that knowledge. I'm not going to say label. I'm not going to say stigma or anything. It's like I need that knowledge to be able to move past it. And I can only do that. I can only do that with you two.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to read this one from your chapter. It's on page 279. It says the problem here is that the placer has a narrative in mind about anyone in a specific box, which is how they classify someone, thus using cherry-picked examples from within that box that align with the narrative. That is so powerful. Because often in life, when our friends or so called friends gossip about certain things, oh, she's this and she's that and she's this. Again, it's easier to believe them because why not? They're your friends. But what happens is we in business closed opportunities that you could have because you were a lemming or you are a lemming, not were because you're still doing it. And awareness is the key because at the end of the day, you're literally fighting for your limitations or you're fighting for your opportunities to grow. Part of growth is painful, literally painful, right? And when people says you're neutral, I don't even believe it anymore sometimes. There are times that I see people that are super neutral, like Russ Hedge, super neutral. I can see him totally like an uncle, right? But when someone says, "Oh, I'm neutral," and then you see them just disappear, it's because I already know that they labeled me specifically on a certain box. And I just smiled because at that moment, it makes me realize that you're superficial.
Mhm.
It makes me realize that I used to regret things like, oh my God, I did this for you and this and this and this. I don't do that anymore. It's because the way I see it is that at that moment when I did help you or I helped that person, they needed it. And it's just like when you're in a bank, right? You don't say, why is your interest rate change from 2% yesterday and now I should be like making more money now. It is what it is in life. There's ups and downs, ebbs and flows, right? So at that moment, I was putting a karmic savings. My intentions was really good and to help. So if I regret helping, if I regret saying, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done that, that means I regret my own actions helping somebody and I won't regret helping somebody. But I also have boundaries that you cannot cross. I used to be okay with people just like, I make excuses for people's attitudes and be okay with the way they come off the rails and handles. But to me, it's not a reflection of me, it's a reflection of your weakness and spineless personality. That's how I see it, right? If you can't stand up for yourself because you feel peer pressured to do something that you really kind of don't want, then that you're spineless and you're not able to stand up for what is good or what is real. And I love that. Like you classify someone, literally people, we classify everyone on a daily basis. I do it too. But I also learned that one of my best friends in real life, one of the moms, when I first went to the new school, they told me, oh, don't talk to her because she's mean, she's this, she's that. And I'm a rebel. So first thing I did was talk to her. And I was like, hey, my name is CJ. I'm a mom of Bella and Angelina. And they're like, oh, hey. And I'm like, yeah. So do you want to go to lunch? She looked at me like weird. And she's like, where do you want to go? I'm like, I don't know. I'm asking you. So go wherever you want. And I paid for her lunch and now we're still best friends and our kids are in college. Just because someone told me that they're this, the thing is, people will act differently on certain people, right? I could act really nice to somebody else because they're nice to me, and I could act super bitchy to somebody because they get on my nerves. I'm the same person, right? I'm not being disrespectful or anything. I'm just, you get on my nerves. So I will act differently on that person. So, and then that person will then, oh, CJ's this and that. Yeah, I probably was at that moment. I'll own it, right? But people classify you and you're losing opportunity. Now, Sister Danielle, the same question goes for you. In your chapter, what are some of the thoughts when you were writing it that you could help others extrapolate from your chapter that could help them?
I think in general, my message is to be mindful of our words and how powerful they can be. Um, for me, I talked about the words that have plagued me and has caused me a lot of pain, or reflection of myself, maybe. But there are always two sides to a story. Someone once told me that there's two sides: one, the first person's side, the other person's side, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. And I think that's the power of our words, right? Somebody labels you something, let's say I put too much. Okay, that's something, you know, loved ones or friends, like, oh my gosh, you're too much. And rightfully so, in some cases, I can be too much. Um, but we don't realize how debilitating it can be, especially if you're a parent or if you're a leader in business, right? And it is okay to give someone feedback. But what if we said, hey, you bring something up and then you said, but also you are mindful and passionate. And I love that. And I want you to be aware of this, but let's talk about this too, right? Um, and so we have to just be careful about the way that we use words, and mindful, because it can really be debilitating. I mean, I won't say my age right now, not that I'm almost 40, but um, it took me so long to move past that. So my message is really the power and the weight of your words. So be mindful.
Yeah, a lot of people also preach mindfulness and, well, and all of like self-awareness. But I understand that this journey of mindfulness and self-awareness is forever until the day we die, right? So I give grace to people who are not recognizing that they need to also be mindful
Yeah.
of their own selves, right? I want to read this. This is page 212 of your chapter. It says, many of us live to learn, to grow, and seek better versions of ourselves. For me, I yearn to gain a better understanding of these labels in an effort to better myself. As I ruminate over the words, tears flow as I unpack the scars of words that create lasting pain. Each tear that flows effortlessly, each word with the power to cut me down.
Oof.
When I read that part, I don't know, it's a Filipino thing because like my American friends, they literally just call each other whatever, and including my husband's family and stuff, they're okay with like cursing or name calling, right? But I get so belligerent when I hear name calling. When I grew up, my grandma was from Spain and her family was from Spain, and she just tells me, you'd rather get beaten up because that scar will heal. But if someone says mean things and mean words to you, that will forever etch in your head unless you have something going on with your brain. And
Mm.
you cannot take back the words that you let go. And I don't think that people realize that your words can either inspire and put fire on someone to encourage them to do something good for others and for themselves, or it could literally cut them down and put them in a place where the box doesn't even have a slightly opening for them to see light on that issue. And
Yeah.
what I realize that people don't realize sometimes, and I say people because we're all human, right? Is that words do matter.
Mm.
And when people let go with their words and then they apologize, it happened. But when the apology doesn't seem authentic or real, and then you wonder, oh, I apologize. Why is she not forgiving? It's not that I'm not forgiving. I am forgiving. But I also am loving. I'm putting in a loving space that if you're willing, if you really truly respect someone as your friend and your sister, Comfort is another, but you need to be mindful of your words that could hurt people. And most importantly is your actions. I could say, "Hey, I love you," but your actions is different. It doesn't align. I've been talking alignment the whole day yesterday. I don't know why that freaking word is like in my peripheral version. You're like, alignment is everything. I think for me is as I grow older, in a couple weeks I'll be closer to 50. Yeesh, whoosh, I don't even want to say that word. I'm like, yeesh,
Young kids.
closer to 50. Oh my God. My daughter's like, "Mom, when you hit 50, no more pink hair." I'm like, "No, it's going to get brighter."
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be 60. And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." Life is too short. I could be dead today, but why do I need to ruminate on words that could cut me down? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why I love 50 Inspirational Connections project, because it's a vehicle to encourage you to put fire in your business. You started your business because you want to help others, but it's not as easy as a flicking the finger, boom, clients come in. It is a matter of networking, a lot of networking, right? So I've never given anyone a chance in this TV show or live stream that I have to ask me questions. So because it's your birthday, I'm going to allow you at least 2 questions. And Sister Susanna will have one because it's not her birthday today. Sister Susanna, do you have any questions? PG, okay? Like
I'm like, I'm thinking.
We're just keep drinking here.
Yeah.
Actually, we reach 1100 on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. We appreciate you.
Thanks, friends. I'm still thinking.
That's how much they know me. They have no questions because they're used to me asking them questions.
Yeah.
I never really thought about it. Someone told me this morning, "CJ, I don't even think that you allow your people to ask you questions." And I'm like, it's not that I don't allow. That's just like, sit down, do this. It's more of like, I've always been curious about others and their thoughts and their amazing journey in life, that I'm always asking them questions. But you're right. So today's the day. Whoever DM me, this is for you.
Oh.
And then you had to pick the 2 of us to be the guinea pigs on this.
Yep. Because this is more interesting because you guys know me more than anyone that I know. Well, the real people in real life that I go out most of the time, they know some part of me. I'm not. I am an open book in some ways, but I'm not an open book in others.
I think I have one. If
Go
Susan
ahead.
doesn't want to go first.
Go for it, dear.
How do you separate the personal and the business? And then I have a follow-up question after you answer that.
Sure. Personal in terms of what I'm going through in life, I actually have time for it because as a neurodivergent, we have squirrel minds. You guys know this, right? Like we go to do this and then you do this and you do this. So what I have found is timing is everything. So what I do is I give my family, "Hey, I'm only available in this specific time," and they know that, right? Like my husband on Friday tomorrow, or yes, tomorrow. You're like, "Hey, we should go to lunch." I'm like, "I can't because every Friday lunch is my husband's date." Like, I don't know if we're going to be forever, but we've been married for 21 years, right? And so we have certain things that we do to keep us together. And lunch is one of them. And I will cancel, I will quit on a job, I will do anything to do that because that's part of my responsibility as a wife. That was my commitment. And I'm pretty serious about that. And if I ever separated in the future, at least I could say, "Hey, we tried. This is, whatever," right? But I've always stick to that. schedule. My daughter knows what my schedule is, and she will push her button to push that schedule in and out. Let me tell you something. She stretches me. But she also knows when to stop pushing, right? Because there's certain limits. And so the way I do it is through time. I manage my separating my personal and my business through time. There are times though that I don't separate them. Like I'll be doing some some testing and work, and then my daughter's like, "Mom, I gotta go get some juice." I'm like, "Oh, fine." I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna do this," and then I would run outside real quick and to do that, right? Because there are those times, but most of the time I separate them by time commitment because I have schedule at work and then I have my schedule here. I also separate them by days, certain days, right? So time and days is something that I manage. Yeah. Especially if you work at home remote, it's hard.
Mm.
Follow-up question.
Susanna, do you want to ask your question first?
You follow up.
No, okay. So where I was going with this was, here's my fear box, right? When someone has crossed your boundaries, because everybody's are different, and you still have to like move on, right? How have you handled that in past when you still have to engage and there might be a difference of opinion?
I'm going through that right now, actually. But what I usually do, and when I was younger, I just pop off, literally just go off, because I didn't really care about the consequences and doing that. But what I realized is that I have more class than that. I was brought up better than that. My ancestors would come down raining parade and chop me down right now if I acted like that. That's how I see that, right? I'm like, I'm above that. I'm not saying I'm above everyone, but I'm above the nonsense, right? I didn't get close to 50. I don't have Botox yet, but I didn't close to 50 to have wrinkles because of you. I'm not doing wrinkles for you. Just not doing it. The worry, I have enough worry in my life. I have enough worry that I don't share to people because that's my personal business, right?
Yeah.
About my daughters and things like that, and family and things like that, and health. I'm not about to let you enter my circle. So I have two circles. My inner circle for me and my family. That's my nucleus. Then I have an outer circle, which is you guys, my friends, my close family friends. Then I have another circle, which is friend. And then I have another circle outside, which is my business friend. And then I have another circle, which is my frenemies, right? Like they're part of my circle. That's why it exists. So I have different rules of engagement on each circle. And the way I see it is I'm not here to be your best friend. I'm here to do business and to do work. I can be neutral as much as I can, but I'm emotional. I'm Filipino. I'm Chinese. I'm a lot of things. So I do get the eye roll sometimes. Like I'm not even aware, and Bella's like, "Mom, you're doing it." I'm like, "Oh crap. Let me chew some gum," because then I will be like, and I'm not aware sometimes of my facial expression that I'm doing it. And I think a lot of us are not aware because it comes naturally. So what I do is I always remember, CJ, you're not here to serve them. You're here to serve your business.
Yeah.
Right? And business and pleasure does not go in like that, especially if the person that you're dealing business with right now, or you're around business people that you don't care for, because they don't need to know your issues. Because when I act up and this person was not doing anything because we had some tiff, people are like, "What is wrong with you? Did you take your meds today?" Like, seriously, right? It's none of their business. So what I do is I'm neutral, I'm respectful, and then I move on. If I don't have to spend the time of the same room that you're breathing in, I don't have to, right? But if I will need to be, I will do it at a minimal space just so I could show up for my business and for people that I'm doing business with. But then I just go shopping. Like, bye. I got life more than this. See ya. Like, I do my own life. I don't need to live in anger or bitterness or blaming. Like, I can only blame myself if I stay angry. I can only blame myself if I put myself in that. I have more class than that. Bye. That's how I see it. Yeah, but I'm still going through that right now with certain people and certain, not necessarily on LinkedIn and real life, right? It's that circle that you have. So I just keep it neutral because at the end of the day, it's not about them. It's about the business that we're doing, right? Yeah. How about you, Sister Susanna? Before we leave.
This is where I'm not really coming up with questions because we talk through so much stuff. And there's just the only things that I can really come up with right now is, how many books do you plan on writing this year?
Well, anthology, at least one more. And then I'm hoping I can have one or two on my own that I'm working in right now. I was actually really considering creating a book journey of my dogs. Like the Animal Farm at CJ's Land. I don't know. um, you listen, I learned so much from my bulldogs about life. It's so funny, like I said that, but I do, and I always wonder why are they like the U.S. Marines, you know, person, like their whole thing, and now I know because they keep coming. They will keep coming. You could kick them, you could burn them, you could do whatever. They don't feel the pain. They just keep coming. If they want you, they're gonna get you. If they want something, they're gonna get it. No matter what it takes, they will get it. And I love that attitude. Like Cheerio, she wants to be in bed. She will growl. She will irritate her dad. She will just so she could be with me upstairs when I'm sleeping. Right. And I was like, how does she do that? She doesn't speak. But in so many ways, nonverbal communications, if you pay attention, you will know exactly. And if you look at her and she gets growly at me, I'm like, I don't want to go to bed. Like sometimes when we get talking on Zoom, right? And Cheer's like growling, and I was like, I don't want to go to bed. And she jumps up a hop like a bunny, and I'm like, seriously, go to your sister. And she looked at and Bella's like, Chi, I'm not going to bed with you. Like I'm still watching a movie. And it's so funny. They don't have to speak, but they speak louder. It's the same, right? So I was thinking of doing that book. And then another book is Too Bad for Friendship. That's the title that I'm working on. It's kind of sketch, but it's called Too Bad for Friendship. Kind of oxymoron. Ooh. But literally, it's like a journal. I'm reflecting on my journal on the things that I went through, and just throughout my life. In the You think that high school was over, and apparently adulthood is worse. Because certain people are such users and leeches. And Too Bad for Friendship is hopefully coming out this December, but we'll see how that goes. Give me quotes, sister. Give me quotes that you would like to end this show. Something different that you haven't said before.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Birthday girl.
A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. Proverbs 17:17.
So sad.
Put on the full armor of God, because that's what keeps us safe day in and day out.
Mine is from Albert Schweitzer. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is actually the key to your Yes.
Mm.
If you love what you doing, you will be successful. That's all I got to say on that one. Thank you guys so much for being here. We stay at 9:52 today. In terms of people being here, we appreciate you. And sisters, I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. Like I can't.
Tomorrow,
Kinga, we'll see her on Saturday. You're gonna meet Jacqueline. Harsha is gonna be coming. It's gonna be fun. More than anything, at least we tried, right? And I don't have any expectations because expectations just lets you down. I don't have any expectations. And it's going to be fun just doing an activity that we can have real life situation that we're doing together. So,
yep.
Podfest 2, except book 1. Bye, guys. See you later.